Welcome to School Management Software, which I call School Magnets. It is a financial, it is a software that manages both financial and activities and academic activities of a school. I designed and developed this software. It is a work of over 12 years. I've been working on this, and the financial module actually is being used for the past 7 to 8 years, but it still remains some finishing touches, which by His grace, it will be available in the next 6 to 7 months. But I'm here to present this academic module, which is ready to be deployed. The academic module is basically consists this particular one I've just completed now can be used both online and offline. What do I mean by online offline? Online means we can get you a sort of a hosting, a web hosting site that your staff, the teachers, will be able to enter or input their marks, generate these results and everything via the internet. They will access the software via the internet. But when it comes to the offline, it means the software can be deployed within the school premises. All we just need is a computer that will act like a server, and maybe you dedicate, like for example now, we use the staff room for the staff. We use the staff room. We install a very powerful single Wi-Fi device, a wireless device that will connect every teacher to that server, and they can start inputting the student record, the marks right away, and generate the end of term results or the end of midterm results. Basically, I ask myself a question: what does a school actually need a software to manage the academy of the software for? We have many parents that are interested in a lot of things the software should be able to provide for them. Some of them wants to a software that will be able to monitor when their children enter a bus, come out of the bus. They want a sort of a software that will give them information about the movement of their children. But to me, the basic question, or the way I see it, is that in school, what do you really actually need the software, the academic software for? One is to be able to generate the student result at the end of each term or midterm. Two is to allow parents to be able to go online with their PIN provided by the school to be able to check their student results online. Apart from being generated from the school can, in fact, it help the school to save cost in printing of the results, which can only be printed on demand by the parent, but the parent can actually go online to enter the PIN and download the results. Then third, there is a need of computer-based test, which we call CBT, to prepare the student right from maybe junior school, junior secondary school, senior secondary for JAMB. Apart from that, it's also save the school the cost of printing objective questions, massive. Or maybe you have a large where you in a school where you have a large number of students, you print objective questions. It save the cost of printing as well as prepare the student towards JAMB. Also, apart from that, the teacher, it says that it makes life easier for them instead of marking object. Maybe you have objective question of 30 or 40, and maybe you have a student of 20, you are now marking. No, but once the objective question is inputted into the system, all you need that you can dedicate for schools. That is why they develop this software for, so that it can be used by both small school, scale school, and large scale school. It is developed for both to handle both primary and secondary school, though it can be adapted as well into tertiary institution like the university, polytechnic, it can be adopted to it. But basically, the CBT, the commerce, the school can decide to dedicate one or two classes. You don't need to, because to implement a sort of a network in the old school, like the wireless network, is very, very expensive. But when you can get one or two schools in the one to one two classes in the premises, school compound, dedicate it for the whole, let's say the computer lab, for example, too. So the student can be grouped in batches to do the CBT. As they are pressing the buttons of something goes into their record sheet automatically. The teacher doesn't need to start marking or start calculating. Everything is handled by the software. Now let us see basically in a summary. I'm saying that in a summary, what I'm saying in a summary is that all what the software should handle for a school is basically generate results, mean-term result, end of term results. Two, the parents will be able to go online to check their children results. Now, I said something about online and offline. For the school, if you decide to go offline, where the software is installed inside is in the school premises, and you want the parent to have access via internet into the school, it's very simple. This has been I've been in the industry for going to 28 years now, and networking is also part of my specialty. It is very simple. All you just need to get a modem, a Spectral Net modem, for example, that you can request for a static or public IP address. Just plug the modem into a laptop. In fact, you can use a laptop as a server, because that is the technology that is being used here now. You don't necessarily have to buy massive server. Once you can get a laptop with enough fast speed and enough speed and storage, you are good to go. So you can just plug the modem to the system, and it's not you don't need to be subscribing all the time. It's only during the period of the exam, when they have finished them, when they have given the student the marks are ready, that you just put the modem by the side of the laptop or system. You can easily configure that one with the public address from those ISP. Blam, here you go. Just hook it up. The parent will be able to connect directly from wherever they are to check the student results. So let's dive into the nitty-gritty in a brief summary of how the software works. You can see as I have there, I say, welcome to School Magnet, a school management software. I call it School Magnet. Magnet means it's just my abbreviation of management, right? So once and for online, this software is also available currently on online for any person who is interested, wants to know more about it, or who is interested in buying it or going into it. You can get it from this web address here. That is www.schoolwebmax.com.ng. And the username is this email is the admin@admin.com, and you have the password. This one is the fully administration, because the software is designed that you have a class teacher, you have the subject teacher. When you do subject allocation to teachers and class teacher, the class teacher have full access to the student details information, because they have to enter the new students, they have to modify the student record, put in the picture, whatever it is, right? But the subject teacher is only allowed to have access to the subject they teach. So that is how this thing is designed. So once you log in, the subject, as long as we have set the right role, allocate the right role to the student, to the teacher. Once the teacher logs in, if you are a subject teacher, you are only seeing the subject you are teaching. You are a class teacher, you have access to the subject you are teaching, as well as the psychomotor, whatever in details of the student. And the administrator, who is in charge of the software, has a full capacity, has a full access to the whole part of the section of the software. Because in some area, if you are not an administrator, it will get you don't have access to access this particular page. So I've provided this address, the online address, to check out the software as an administrator, so that you can see what we are just going to go through as a demo now to demonstrate it now. So once you click on this website, which is this www, it will take it directly to this page for you to evaluate it. If you click on the academies, the academies will take you to a login page where you can log in without IP, without these details, this email, as well as the password. So once you click login, it has register, reset password in case you forget your password. Then it takes you into the landing page where you can select the accommodation. Let's select third time for the current academic session, and let's say continue. It brings you that it will display the basic information of the person that enter, the email, the session you are into, then the role of that person. Now, what I'm saying now is I'm going to go through first the summary of what this software is supposed to do for the school. Now, let's go here now, which is under the academies. Let's say you want to generate the student results. You click that. Then let's say we are generating for the main term, and let's say we select a senior whatever class, let's say year 10. So that you can actually reconfigure it, whether you are saying yes us or diamond. Some school use a different naming convention for the classes. Also, you can also change this instead of showing year 10, you can be SS1, Sadio, SS2, depending. In fact, you can do a lot of things with the software depending on the way you want it to look like for you. So once you click on generate, it asks you to confirm if you want to generate report. You click on yes. Then you give you some few seconds. It is now up to 2 minutes. At times, it's even less than 1 minute to process. And it just give you some few seconds. You see, it will show you a program that is a background processing that is working. So it will show you the progress, so computing cumulative marks. So it's going. Then also what you also need for a software to do is to be able to give you sort of a broadsheet. A broadsheet is a sort of a summary of the performance of the student by using the position of the student, the percentage of the student, the average of the student. We will see a summary sheet. We will see how the results or the template are. You can actually change the template. If you want your logo, if you want your student picture of the template, there is a section there to customize it the way you want it to be. It is all program designed and programmed there for you to handle. I just basically showing you now the power of the software, what it can actually at the end of inputting the code. Yeah, it's ready. Just click here. So all you just need is, okay, let's say go to the result page now. Now, when you say batch preview, it will generate the student result for all the students in that particular selected class. It's going to pop on into a new page, and as well, it will open and download a copy for you so that you can have a copy. If you don't have a printer attached, you want to go and print somewhere, it downloads a copy for you. You can see it there. You can see the copy there, and as well as display. This is the display of the student result. This is for the main term. You will see the admission number, the details of the student, the picture, the school logo at the side. Look at them. Then when you can go through it, you can go through the whole student like that. Then you can leave the page, you can come back here. You can, if it is a particular student you want to print, you just click on the student name here. Then it will give you that particular student, and it has some other information. If you want to print directly to a printer, you want to download it, you can download it and send it to the person by email, whatever, WhatsApp, what that. Now you now have this section when generating for the particular class that you export reserved for the parent to be able to log in online from their mobile phone or from their home, wherever they are, to be able to download this particular version without coming down to the school result. It just give you, sir, it has started processing. It has started processing. We give you some few seconds. It goes, it goes, it goes. Just hold on. Gives you processing 80%. So, bam, you go. There you go. So when you click OK, it's there. Now, if you look at the other page, if you click result checker here, when the parent click on the type the URL, it will bring this where you can enter the pin. Fine. How do the parent get the pin? When you come here, before we go to the pin level, let's look at the other reports first from this particular page. You go back, then you go to the broadsheet here. Then when you say display the broadsheet, it will display the broadsheet for you like this. You can see the student name, the agri science, it goes this way. You can look at it this way. You can go up here, you can see it, right? Now you can display the broadsheet summary as well, that tells you a summary of the performer. You can see the student name, number of subject offer 14, 13, total is 12. You can see the average, the position. It will tell you which student came first, what is the percentage. Now you can also export. This is the summary of the broadsheet. You can now export it to Excel. Give you some few time for some few seconds. It's powerful. This the speed depend. If you are using it online, it will depend on the bandwidth or the capacity of the hosting you buy and your internet, of which you are the speed of the internet with which you are accessing it, right? So that is so. Now, so that's it. That's it. Just export. You see the downloaded version here. You can open the downloaded version here, and you can click it to close it. Then the downloaded version will now is now open. It has open. Look at it here. Let's look like so. This is the spreadsheet here. You can see it will tell you now. The spreadsheet will tell you at the top here is for the main term. And if you give the student name, the subject, what is called, if you don't do a Greek, this is not doing a Greek, it tell you the subject is offering, and it tells you here the number of subject, the total, the percentage, and the position. And at the top here, you can see the performance per each of the subject, the average score, the pass ratio, the pass percentage is graded. So this is what is spreadsheet. This one gives a summary view of the performance of the children or of the student. So that is that page. Let's go back to the page. We are through with this now. Now, how do we now get the pin for the student, for the parent? So when you go to these settings, this is only available for the administrator. If you go to manage student, you see student here. You click on it. Now you click on the particular class. Now the class we did now is year 10 Sadios. I've already generated the pin here. But if you come here, you can actually generate the pin here, generate parent pin. Then you can export. You can see export student pin for distribution, export parent pin as a list. If you click on export parent list, export parent pin for distribution, it will call you if you want to generate it. You say yes, continue. It's exporting to Excel for you, right? So you click on it here, and you see how it is. Now, yeah, you see, it will now list the name of the student, the web URL. All this information can be set in the system, which you can now print out and cut it and include it as part of their this the information they normally give them when they are going home. You just include it, or you give it their parent to go online with this address that is there, right? And log in. Now, if I close, if you go back, those information actually can be that information there can actually be set at this access information here, the URL where the parent can go to. This information is for the CBT. If the student are doing the CBT in the school, if the CBT is being handled in the school, the password of the CBT. We are going to go through the CBT how it is. The parent pin counter, how many number of times the parent can actually check results. Are they allowed? Once they exhaust this period, it locks them out. We will see that in action. Now let's go back to the student list here. Now let's pick the year 10 Sadios. Now let's pick this particular student, any student there. This is the parent pin. Let's click on this. Let's copy that, and let's go to the result checker. You come here, You paste it there, you log in. That's it. It will display the name of the student. And the drop down here to give you the list of results, midterm results, second term results. They are doing this British exam, IGCSE, everything will be listed. You just click on it, bam, and that's it. If the parent has a printer at home, they can print directly to the printer, or they can download it on their mobile phone for their children, daughter or son, whatever, and that's it. If I log out again, it takes me back. If I put the pin, let's say the pin is not correct, you add it, it will give you information, invalid authentication pin. Then we can now, let's put the pin. This is the number two. You come there, you open it, you log out, you open it again, you paste, let's log in again, you log out, let's log in again, voila, your pin has expired. Please contact the school. Thank you. You can't do more than that. So let's go back to this. So that is how a lot of stuff now, that is basically, see, as I've said, we don't need to to put all sort of things that will confuse the end user and make it so simple and compact. You don't necessarily design a software that is complex to use or to do, where you now have a lot of many doing that. Unless there are some things in software, you ask yourself, even the Excel you are using, how many of the menu in Excel have you ever used, or the Word have you ever used? How many there? So unnecessary menu. So it's just simple. Now this, you can actually have the collapse here. The menu is also by the side there. You can collapse it, or you can check it from there. Here you can have the section, the academic year list, or their which you can, then the attendance. This is where the attendance, right? During the entering of the mark, which you, when you want to compute the midterm comments, you come here, it's sitting waiting for your selection. Let's select ESN 10, Sadius, right? So it's computing the grades. There you can now feed in the attendance of the student for the year, which will appear at the top of the page. This is just midterm, but we'll look at how the format of the final, when we are just using this one. You can see this, where you enter, and this auto, all this comment also can be auto comment. Here you see the auto comment, where you can apply auto comments for it. So instead of the teacher or the writing the comment, you have already set it up. And that one is also available in the mark settings here. Everything is there for you. You can just come here, you see where is that comment, depending on the grading you are using. When, if it is a senior stream mock, yeah, see, this is the remark here. If it is a general gauge, which is here, we all know this is a general mark setting, general grades. Yeah, this is where the autocomment, or that autocomment will be picked up from. Based on the range of score, you can decide to set it down, so that when you are generating report, you can just apply it based on the mark range into the in the result that will now appear at the top or at the bottom here. We will see when it is a first term. This is just for the midterm, right? So it is a very simple, and the navigation is also very easy to go by, right? So that is simple like that. Now let's look at the CBT. The CBT is here. See, the beautiful about the CBT is that the CBT has this is where you set the exam questions. You can add a new exam question here. You give it the time, you allocate the time. This these are the one that you can look at. Let's look at it has the most, you can input. Let's look at mathematics, for example. These are the details of the exam. Now the question, when you want to set the question, you can just pick the side there. Let's filter it. You can filter it. Let's go to senior secondary school. Let's filter the results. So let's go to this is the teacher that is teaching the subject. Let's go to furthermore, for example. This is further maths. So it gives you the question here. This is the CBT question. You can see the mathematical function, they are all there. You can set all these ones here. If you want to add more question, You go to the list. If you want to add more question to it, all you just need is to come here. You can see create a new question. It will generate the next question number 6. Then you select the number of multiple choice. It will give you here. Because I'm editing, I click edit there, select it there. It will give you the options here. You can type in your question. You have the equation editor, which is this. If you put cursor, this is where you set up your equation editor. Once you set everything here, you save, it comes and append to the list here. This is CBT. Now, once you go back again, you have other things there, like this is the CBT monitor that you can use to monitor the student as they are writing the exam. Let's say, for example, now, right? Let's look at let's take the CBT for example now. Let me go to the settings here now. Let's manage user student. Let's take the year 10 Science, the CBT year 10 Science. Let's take any student pin. This is the pin here. This is the pin lock. Once the pin lock close here, the student cannot do the user pin again. You can lock it so that it doesn't so when you take this pin, for example, copy, we go to CBT, right? We go to CBT, then we enter the pin there, then we enter the password. The password is only, paste, and we say login. This is correct. It will take you to the next page. It's an instruction page, welcomes the student. It gives you the list of the subject they want to do. Now you can also control the list of this subject. And if it is just one subject that you want the student or the students to see on the list, there is a section you can control it. And if you want all of them to see it, any subject that's been answered there, once the student submit, let's say for example further maths now, you test them the number of time, duration, 15 seconds, you say start. Once you click start, indicate yes, it comes to the page here. You can see the mathematics there. You can click next to answer the question. Next, you answer the question. You answer the question. You can preview, go back. At the end, there is also a preview section here where the student can, in a small way, can preview the answers she or she has done. Once you do that, once you say submit, we have submitted for them now. Let's before we submit, it has collapsed the student detail. You can see the student other information here. The picture of the student who is writing is here. You can see the exam date, the exam code, the subject that the person is writing for that mathematics. You can collapse it here, right? So once the student say submit now and you say yes, it takes you to the score immediately. It gives the score immediately, no mark, everything has been preset there. And when you look at it, you tell the question that is wrong. Now you can see that I say your answer. There is also an answer to show up, but it won't show up until the time is an elapsed, right? Until that time is elapsed. So once the student close it, it comes and you see that you will not see further marks there again. Now let's close it here. Now let's look at what the student monitor, what the monitor does here now. Let me pick another student that has not done further marks or whatever subject. So let's pick this student. Now let's once we do that, let's go back here. Let's enter the pin, paste, and let us copy, put the password on it, paste, and let's log in. Right now, let's go back to this place. So let's go back to CBT now. Let's go back to CBT now. So now let's go back to CBT monitor. Let's select the class senior. You can open this page in multiple places. One page for, you can repeat, you can open in different tab for different classes. So when you say the year 10 Science, let's leave that way. And let's select the subject that they are currently doing. The person who was doing this is the one that I've completed so far. And now let's look at the subject that has not been. Let's say technical drawing, for example. See, and let's say we say start. Now the time has counted. Now let's this student now select technical drawing here. Now let's say the student start here. Bam, the student has started. Now let's go back to that. It will as the student proceeds, let's refresh it. Start is going now. This is year 10 Stadius. Okay, let's refresh the page. The page will come back there. That is the beauty about it. It should come back to that page. It's loading. Let's come here now. Senior year 10. So we are doing technical drawing. Is it technical drawing I selected? Let me see. Yeah, that is year 10 Stadius. Okay, start. Now, okay, this when the student submitted. It's there now. It's doing the timer now. I've programmed a lot of things there. I can't even know how. So when the student is doing the exam, it won't show up yet. So as the student is answering the question, immediately the student submit the mark and say yes. The page come out now. It has submitted. Let's come back here now. You see, it will just appear that this student, a student has submitted. So as the student are completing the exam and submitting, you are monitoring which student has finished, what time did the student use. Then here now you can also look at the student, how the student perform, how the student answer the question by clicking that, right? It will now display here now you can see it gives you the answer. So this page here, the answer will appear if the student either the student did not finish the on time the something, because once the time the something will lock and come back here or it is time, so it will now show the student can see his or her score, as well as we can see this particular student score. We select, see, it's a very simple process of monitoring of the subject now, and that is the CBT. To me, a school software, yes, you can say you are having the counselor module, you are having everything. Yeah, I don't want to complicate the whole software. Just make it too simple. As I've said in my brief introduction, basically what you just need software, generate your results, either for the school, for all the students in the class, then or for individual, then the CBT, the parents be able to go online to check it, the spreadsheet to see the overall performance. That is all I believe a school should now. Though at a request, whatever you want to be included in the software can be included, and that will be an additional extra at a extra cost. There is nothing that cannot be included there. Anything you want, if you want the software to be flying, it can be done, right? There is nothing impossible in the world of IT. And physically, because of my experience, there is nothing impossible for me to say I want to handle with software. I can design anything you want. So basically, that is the way the software goes. No, you still you have the student list. When you look at the student list here, this is student list. You can do a lot of other things there. So it's going to list you all the students. It's loading all the students in the school. When you look at it that way, it's loading. So just give you, because these are, when you look at the bottom, there are 260 students there. Now you can bear, so you can filter it per the school. For this particular school, how many students in that school? 116 in senior school. You can see their photograph. If you want to edit their details, you can click edit and it comes here. If you want to change the picture, you can change the picture. It has other information about their medical information which you can keep track of, right? You can go back to the list by clicking here. This is where you add new student here. If you want to add new student, you can filter the new student there. So that is it. Now when you look at you can look at the class information as well. When you go to this place, you go to class list, you can see the class list here. That class list will tell you, give you some other summary information there. You see, it tell you year 7 versus 1. You can see the class teacher, the principal of the school. You can edit if you want to change the class teacher for another session. You change it there. You go back to the list. You can filter the list as well. They all have filters there. You can have it once you go to the school here now. If you go to the class list, you go to the school, it's also give you the load the information about the schools there. You can add more school class. That's why it can be customized. You can see it tells the number of students in that school. If you go to the class group, it tells you the grouping, which is the you have primary one. This is actually where you change whether you want to use the normal conversion, when you say tick to use normal conversion, which is it will highlight display. Look at it. Now you see what happen. If I go back to that academic again, let's say we are academics here. Now look at it here now. If you look at it, you see junior school, it has changed it to what? SS1, GSS1. So you can actually all this name, you customize, you configure it to the way you want it to be. You go to the class name, you have the class name, you see Diamond, Sadios. See, it is you can program it there to your own desire, to your own naming convention. And then you have the staff list as well. When you have the staff list is there, the staff list is there. You see the staff list with their photograph, you have it. Now you see here when you say tick, it will list you some whose birthday are due. It will list them for you and you remove it, come back. You can actually filter the staff by the bursar, the cleaner, the staff, give you that information. This is part of the all this information are part of the financial module, which in a couple of months will be available. It's already being used, but I still need some finishing touches to put there. But this academic is ready to go. So when you go to the school information here, now this is actually where you configure what appears at the head of this place, at the your header here, all the places. So this is actually where you do if you edit it. You can change it to your school logo, put all the other information about your school, the address which appear on the on the stuff there, right? Now, let's now say we log out. Let's go to previous terms and see. Let's go back to previous terms. Let's go back to the previous term. You can actually save this information so that you don't enter it all the time into your browser. I decided to leave it this way. So you log in, then you come. Let's say we select 2022. Let's select let's say second term, whichever one you want to select. Let's say continue. It brings here. So let's go back to the academics now. Now remember we've changed this. So let's say end of term exam, and let's select also senior, or let's select junior. Uh, let's select JS2 Emerald for example now. Now let's generate the results. Yes. So let's give it some because it's going to generate two sections here. It's going to generate the cognitive, is calculating and grading the cognitive mark entry. It's also after that it will now do the psychomotor, the effectiveness that is going to appear on the result sheet. Will give you some few minutes. Yeah, it's going and shows you display the information as it's do the computation for you to know that something is happening, to show you that something is happening, that is actually doing the computation. That is why all the teachers needs to do is just to enter the score for the subject. I will take you to the page where it enter the score, right? As I've said, you can actually have this in a multi. As this one is going, you can go to another page. Let me say I go to another page. I paste that URL there. So now you can come back here. That one is still processing. You can be doing that. It's loading depending on the speed of your. I'm actually using a laptop here, so you can where do I want to go? So this one is still going, right? You can do a multi-page here, so you can actually go in again, right? So has finished. It has finished. Yeah, he's now doing the psychomotor now. Another marks. He's doing that now. He's doing that now. He's doing that now. So give it for some time. Bam. And when you go to the student result page, let's pick a particular student there. If the student has mark, it will if you don't, it will tell you that the mark does not exist for the student. So it's showing the time to generate 8 seconds for that particular student. So yeah, you can see. Let's while that's all, you can do the bash also. Let the bash be going. It's calculating. So you can see this one now as, for example, now you can see the cycle here, effectiveness and the cycle here, activities, other activities of the student, a bar chart showing the performance subject. The code is here, and you will see the code here to be able to know the score of the chart there, right? Yeah, we didn't put the score here to not to make the something. If we are putting the score, it makes it untidy. So basically, we just use the code, the subject code, which can be seen there to compare the performance. This is the class teacher signature, and I think this class teacher signature was in there. You have the principal signature. All can be scanned into the system. If you go to the staff list there, now, so let's go to this place. It's still generating that 43 seconds, 40, 50 seconds because it contains a massive information there. It's generating there. So let's go to this place where the students they can capture the information. So now, why that is going, that is we call it. So don't know why this one is taking longer. It's not supposed to take that long. Now, if you go to the staff list here, staff, right? So when you click edit, this is where you capture the staff signature. You just go and once you count the signature there, you just click on signature, you bring in the signature of the teacher, the staff, then you can view the signature, it will show you a page, show you the signature there. So right. And basically that is all. You have a now to enter the student marks, you see the mark entry here. Just click on cumulative mark there. Yeah. So as I was saying, when I select a class, there's one might not that necessarily put this one depending on how you configure it. Now it give you the list of, because I'm an administrator, I can see all the subject. But if this particular teacher English language, it logs in with our own details, it's only English that the person will see. So once you do that, then you can see here now this is the student, either midterm, and they also have lock. For example, now this is a midterm grading. You can't enter for the other school because this is a midterm. Something has been set to lock. You can't enter for first time. You can only enter for midterm, right? You can't enter for the other time. You can only enter for that. And all these settings are also being set here, where you have the mark settings here to be able to control when you see this. If you are entering man for midterm there, if you are entering for end of term there, or you can come here to the general mark settings here, where you can now say, okay, CA1, CA2, this is now when you are doing the entry, any score you set here, maximum mark, this is the conversion factor. If you want, you don't need to be doing once. For example, now the midterm exam can be converted to your CA1 based on the conversion factor here. You can see the lock here. So there is a lot of things. I don't want to go into it. This, I'm just giving you a summary of where to do a lot of settings. If you come back here, if I come back to cumulative mark here, mark entry. So if I select the subject again, bam. Now if I now this is based on 40/60. If I put something greater than that there, if I try to save, it will tell you how you get monitor. 50 is greater than 40 because 40 is what is set there. They are controlled so that the teacher doesn't make mistake in entering above. Because if you enter, if the something is, if the total mark is more than 100, it will calculate, but it won't show you the grade because it has gone up. So that is the controls are all there. So the once you go through the, even there is a minimal training, you need to be able to start using it. There is other features there. You have where you enter your comment, you see where you can preview the score. When you want to preview the score, maybe you want to preview the score of the something, is loading. This way is generating a sort of a a broadsheet for you. Yeah. So it's computing it. The meantime, instead you midterm score. You can preview it. That is, you want to know which subject has been entered, which subject has not been entered, that has been captured or not. Voila. And here you go. You can see here the subject. If it is only agreed that have been entered, it is only show this column agree, only agreed has been entered. So yeah, a lot of other things. So just what this software does. In a summary, and to make my conclusion, it's a software that I designed over, almost over 12 years work, and it has the, as I said, basically is to generate the student report for the end of the term, then the broadsheet, the CBT, the parent. What else do you want in a software? The other ones, if you want, they can be added, but I don't want to just cluster it. Yeah. So thank you for spending your time to go through this video to understand the working. I hope you will at the end of the day be impressed to want to use it to deploy for your school, right? If you need any further questions, you can always contact us. Thank you and happy listening.